Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again. Thank you for pressing play, for spending some time with me. I'm so super excited that you're here because, 2020 is coming to an end. And in the beginning of the year, I kind of threw out a bunch of things that I thought would happen by the end of 2020. And the last one fell into place right away. That's right. They have discovered, or so they think, the elusive Planet 9. Yes, that is right. But that's not all. There's some other things going on. My last video about the music awards, my last couple of videos about what's happening tomorrow, the beginning of this time that I'm concerned would be a time of trouble. Oh, this is going to be a great show, so I hope you're buckled up. Welcome back to the program. I hope you're doing super fantastic. I hope you're doing great in the midst of the storm. I hope you're calm. I hope you're not like Peter who, as Jesus walked on the waters, right? I hope you're not like Peter getting all scared and falling in, because you can be above the troubles. You can exist above all the nonsense and all the lies and all the craziness that's going on. You can exist there. You could be safe, right? Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth. That's in Revelation. But before that, it says you should rejoice, those that are in the heavens. Rejoice, because regardless of what's happening, regardless if the devil has come down because he knows his time is short. Yes, it's interesting, right? It's interesting because we've been talking about that, and then we see a bunch of people acting kooky, and then Match.com comes out with their little viral video. I think Ryan Reynolds had something to do with it. Where Satan, matches up with 2020, and the two of them, they have a great old time, and the video ends with them sitting on a bench and saying they wish 2020 would never end, and then a bunch of, asteroids and meteors. It's interesting, right? A match made in hell. That's strange. But you know what else is strange? Is the fact that, I just did the show about the MTV Music Awards, where I was talking about Baphomet, I was talking about Pan, I was talking about all of these iterations of Satan, these pagan gods. And ironically enough, I didn't talk about this, and I wanted to. I wanted to point out a couple of things. I wanted to point out that Travis Scott video that I did a whole video about, and just the symbolism of it, and that I thought that the video was kind of heralding the arrival of this, the bad guy, right? The Antichrist character, right? And at the end of the video, he has, the Jenners holding a little baby goat, right? This one. Discovered something, and it was an altar that was erected to the god Pan. That's right, Baphomet, right? Marduk, right? All of these iterations. Pan. Now, what's weird about this is the altar that was found, it was from like 1800 years ago, I guess. It was from a Byzantine church, a very famous church that the story goes, that's where Jesus said to Peter, I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Interesting. So that church, right, the whole time, a foundational stone was an altar to Pan. How kooky that is? That this is revealed now? Pan! Yeah, it was interesting. I was even on Twitter the other day, and Nick Hinton, he's got a great Twitter page. He does these great, really cool, these little threads where he kind of reveals things. Well, he put a post out, ironically enough, which grabbed my attention and reminded me I got to do the show, about Saturn's moon that looks like a craft, and it's called Pan. So, for a long period of time on the channel, we've talked about these pages of the Bible coming to pass, right? If you haven't seen my videos that have on the thumbnail, you have December 14th. You always see that December 14th because that's halfway between these two eclipses. There's 1,211 days in between them. Reminds me of that great book in Revelation chapter 12 where it says they love their lives not unto death. So it's kind of like, you know, if we want to serve God, maybe things are going to get hard. They are. But you know what? As long as you don't lose hope, you're going to be okay. And I'm hoping that things don't get bonkers. But, you know, this is one of my concerns. And of course, I don't have a crystal ball. I always tell people it's not a crystal ball, it's a paperweight. These are just knickknacks around the house that I think are cool. But, you know, I've had feelings about things and then they happen again and again and again. And it seems like they're happening a lot more. Maybe one day I'll string it all together because it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind how this stuff happens. One of the things that I did was I did a video at the beginning of the year in January, and the thumbnail says 2020. I've talked about it a couple of times. 2020, the finale begins. About how this was going to be the year where it was just going to be like, that's all right. They took the seatbelt off, right? Most people, that's why I've been telling you to buckle up, because now it's just going to be crazy. I think I started the video saying that every single sci-fi apocalyptic movie that you could think of is going to happen in 2020. We got the aliens, we got the AI, we got the pandemic, we got pandemic, just saying. Ironically enough, in the thumbnail, check this out, you see a picture of Nibiru. Yeah, I said for many years, when I first started talking about this stuff, now ironically, you tell me if you think this is worthwhile. This channel, which has been on here since 2008, I've been sharing the things that I believe God has inspired me to share. You know, I've been sharing my faith since 2008. Before that, on my website, before that, I've been writing for years about these things. And I didn't want to talk about all the goofiness because in like 2015, 16, I told everybody the world was gonna be unrecognizable, that it was gonna be horrible and terrible, and it was gonna be so scary. And all of my friends that considered me to be a theologian who had some great insight, all of a sudden they're like, this guy's crazy. I didn't want to talk about that stuff back then, but I did, and then I got the repercussions of it. Everybody says, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, or you're an alarmist, or you're a fearmonger." That was a good one. I didn't sell anything, you know. The channel wasn't monetized back then. I only had like a couple of hundred subscribers back then, until I had, the weird dream about the Nibiru, Planet X, Planet 9. Until I didn't have all that coincidence. One thing after another thing after another thing. And I kept blowing it off. I was like, Lord, I'm not going to go on here. I'm not going to tell people about some mysterious planet that I don't even know about. I'm not going to tell people about aliens and all that stuff. I don't have a problem if they're real. I don't have a big issue, but it's not like something that I'm like focusing on. I think the more important thing is faith, Lord. I'm not going to go on here and do that. And one thing after another thing after another thing, they all led me to a place where I had this terrible nightmare. I knew I was supposed to talk about it. Danielle knew I was supposed to talk about it. There were so many breadcrumbs. And then I finally talk about it, right? And then the next video I do on the subject, it goes viral. So much so that it freaks me out. I actually took the video down. But then the next video I did on it went viral again. So this topic that I didn't want to talk about, this topic that I didn't really believe in, didn't know anything about until it was kind of sent to me, right? If you will, in a weird way, becomes the very thing that my channel takes off on. So of course I believe God's in charge of everything. So I say, okay, this has got to be a real thing. So I start telling everybody it's real. You know what they'll do? They'll start to release the information. They'll say, we think it's out there. And that's what happened. They started to, the guys at Caltech said, oh, it's coming out there. And because remember at the time, NASA was like, it's not real. There's no such thing. There's no evidence, blah, blah, blah. Never a straight answer, right? Some people say that that word from Hebrew means to deceive. It has some very spooky origins, right? You got the dragons. You got the two twin dragon capsules, the ISS twins. If you've been watching the show long enough, you know I've been talking about the twins. Geminid meteor showers about the peak, Jacob's trouble, Jacob's the twin, all this twin stuff, right? Erasmus, Comet Erasmus, the twin group. It's just so strange. Twins. So imagine my surprise when I say this is going to be the year, right? And it was like that. Here it is. And listen to the title, right? Hubble finds cosmic twin. What are the odds of that? Of solar system's mysterious planet 9. So they've discovered it now. Interesting timing, don't you think? Interesting timing. You got all of this goofy stuff going down, and we got the Electric College is meeting, tomorrow. Who knows what the days are gonna bring? Who knows? I don't know, but I do know that it's gonna be very interesting, and that's why I think that all of you should probably ask for the truth, no matter what the cost. I think you should probably ask God to lead you. I think that you should put your faith in more than this world system, because as you can tell, it's just a mess, right? It's just the whole thing's just a hot mess. I mean, am I right? Right? So if you're going through some troubles right now, okay, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt if you're having a hard time right now. I want to encourage you. Because, see, I'm going through some hard times too. Got some health issues, got some work issues, all these things. They're all hitting at the same time. And why? It's the testing and trying of your faith. The scriptures say, consider not the fiery trial that is upon you, right? Because it's not worth being compared to the glory that's going to be received when this is all said and done. Remember, Jacob's time of trouble. If we are entering that time, which I kind of have a feeling we are, right? Jacob's time, we're going to be saved out of it. Jacob's going to be saved out of it, but we're not going to go unpunished. No matter how many times, I share things that I know and I have faith that are 100%, from the heavens above. And I want people to really ask for the truth, no matter how many times, then you see correlation in the world where you're like, wow, that's interesting. And how many times? It's just like that passage in scripture. Even if you saw somebody raised from the dead, people still won't believe, because the system has got a stranglehold on people's hearts and people's spirits. But that's all going to be broken. That's all going to be broken. And even though it seems like it's a bummer and it seems like it's a hard time, and I got to tell you, it's been a hard time for me, I'm excited because I know that, everything's pointing towards the right thing. All of these weird little things that we've heard about, that we've been watching, even a monolith. Watch my monolith show. You want to be encouraged? This is the time. This is the moment we've been waiting for. And now they're saying, Planet X is real, right? But isn't it interesting that a church that they say is where Christ gave the keys to Peter, to the kingdom of God, this important church, was built on a foundational stone that was an altar to Pan, a pagan god, Baphomet, possibly the devil or the Antichrist, however you want to look at it. That should tell you something about organized religion today. I'm just saying. I don't have a church, but I do have the one true God, right? The God of Jacob, the mighty one of Jacob. I do have my faith, and I know that I don't need no literal church to go and express it. We are the called out one, the ecclesia. We are the called out ones of God. We're being called out of this world system. And if you put your faith and your trust in the Lord, you're going to be okay. Now, I write a lot of poetry. I don't know if you noticed, I like to share it here and there. I've been writing poetry for a billion years, right? And I wrote one a couple of weeks ago when I was a little down in the dumps. I want to read it to you. I titled it Jonah's Lament, all right? It's kind of like a sad song that a guy who, he's like, he doesn't think anybody's going to believe him. And it's kind of a, let me just read it to you, okay? It sounds sad, but it's really not. But I wanted to share it with you because this is a part of my life, right? And I'm sorry I don't have it memorized. I'm not like that kind of guy. Every day, people do and people say the most selfish and completely hellish things. Oh, the heavy burden it brings. Being a being who's seeing the world the way it's not supposed to be. Oh, the great sadness often felt within me. Knowing the world showing more and more godless depravity. Oh, to know and not be able to show those I love from above the invisible chains of their captivity. They're demons, you see, disguised in between their eyes as thoughts formed logically. But it's their enemy, pulling their strings until the ugliest part of them they bring for all the world to see. Interdimensional entities feasting on the negative energies harvested from self-imposed misery. This is why everyone is so angry, but who will believe? Who can receive freedom from a jailer that one cannot smell, hear, feel, or see? Oh, where is victory? Fallen. We've fallen, sadly. We've tried and we've failed. The opposite direction our ship has sailed. And while we cursed the belly of the whale meant to bring us liberty, every minister became sinister. Every teacher and preacher that failed to reach you, Lord, should be enough to show you it's going to take a lot more than little old me. I can't do it alone. And even if everything is true that I believe I've been shown, I feel few would believe in you, much less believe you are in me. Because we are here helpless without you, Lord, in the death of the shadow of this valley. Oh, if you could help us to see. Then we would know which ways we should go, and the storm's wind would no longer frighten when it ferociously blows. We would no longer listen to the lies found in the snake's hissing, trying to keep us trapped here below. We would stand up to the storm as if faith was the norm, and to our enemy we'd say no. So I'm asking you, Lord, send your spirit so that your children seek you to know. So every day people will do and say no longer things that hurt them, but only things that will help us all to spiritually grow. That's Jonah's lament. And I wrote that when I was a little bit down in the dumps thinking that maybe it doesn't matter what I do here. But I remember that that's a bunch of baloney, because everything that we do with the right intention, God rewards. And I hope he rewards each and every one of you with a strong, genuine, storm-abiding faith that's going to set you free. I love each and every one of you. Please do subscribe, share, tell your friends, and have the best day ever. I'll talk to you next time, okay? And we'll be smack dab in the middle of it all, I'm sure. I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Jacob Israel. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and share this channel around. If these shows have helped you, help Jacob to reach more any way you can, and have the best day ever.